Hi everyone, it's Raquel of Raquel's Carbon Cuisine, and today's recipe is going to be this hearty pot of soup, but not just any soup. This is Gungo pea soup. Yes, this is packed with provision, salted meats, tons and tons and loads of absolute great flavor. Really delicious. Okay, so for the base of this soup, here I have some salted pigtail. I also have some smoked beef, which I'm going to boil just for a few minutes to remove all of that excess salt. I also have some chicken feet, yes, which I'm going to add at a later time just as not to overcook. And for the soup, the meat choice is definitely yours, okay? Right, so after 15 minutes of boiling, I'm going to remove and rinse the salted meat and smoked beef. Then I'm going to add this to my pot along with some green fresh Gungo peas, also known as pigeon peas. I'm also going to add some pumpkin and carrot because I did mention a hearty pot of soup. I'm also going to add some garlic, which not only gives flavor, but it helps to tenderize the bean. I'm going to add some pimento seeds. Lastly, I'm going to add enough water to cover over everything. Then I'm going to cover this and I'm going to allow this to cook for about 30 minutes. Now, after about 25 to 30 minutes, the meats and peas are partially cooked. Now in with the chicken feet, and I added them at this time just to prevent overcooking. Then I'm going to cover this once more and I'm going to allow this to cook for another 20 minutes. Now 15 minutes of cooking, everything is nice and tender. The smokiness of the beef smells really good. But now it's time to add all the provisions, the dumplings, and we're going to season this pot of soup nicely. To the pot, I'm going to add some sweet corns, which cooks pretty quickly, but if you're local corns, you're just going to add them to the pot soon, okay? I'm also going to add some sweet potatoes, also some cocoa, also known as edders. I'm also going to add some yam, and you know you can't have a pot of Caribbean soup without dumplings. Now to a bowl, I'm going to add some flour, some cornmeal, and a tip of salt, and we're going to make some cornmeal dumplings. I'm going to add water, and I'm going to knead until I've formed a nice firm dough ball. Then I'm going to pinch pieces and I'm going to form dumplings. Then into the pot of soup they go. And bear in mind though, you can use whatever provision or meat for the soup, nothing in particular, okay? Now that we have a hearty pot of soup, provision, dumplings, and meat, it's time for the flavor base of this pot. Now I'm going to add some coconut milk, yes, which gives max amount of flavor to any pea soup. I'm also going to add some fresh Scallion Thyme, 2 whole Scotch bonnet peppers, of course. Now in with some pumpkin cock soup mix, which really gives the final finish to a pot of Caribbean soup. But I want the flavor from the cock soup and not the noodles. I'm just going to save that off. Also to this, I'm going to add some Maggi all-purpose seasoning. You just be mindful of the salt content, okay? I'm also going to add some season to the bone Jamaican seasoning. Yes, so this pot of soup is going to have flavor galore. Now you're going to taste this. You're going to make sure the flavor is nice and balanced. Make any necessary adjustments, but this right here was just absolutely perfect. Now I'm going to cover this down for the very last time, and I'm going to allow this to cook for another 15 to 20 minutes. Then it's done. Total cooking time of about 1 hour and 20 minutes, and this very large Dutch pot of soup is ready. The smells and the taste is absolutely amazing. And what's left to do than just serve and enjoy with everyone around you. I want to thank you so very much for watching.